today. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2378. What's the difference between family story and family lore, L-O-R-E? We're going to uncover that one for you today. So let's get diving right in. So not every story is factual, but every story matters. I love this one. Family stories often come from lived experiences. They usually begin with something someone personally experienced or directly witnessed. They may have been shared at the dinner table during family gatherings or in quiet one-to-one conversations. These stories often call sensory detail, emotion, and context. Even if the facts blur over time, they feel grounded because they originated from lived moments rather than the imagination. And I have a pretty good imagination too, so it's very good at filling in the gaps at times. Family lore grows through repetition and embellishment. Family lore develops when a story is told over and over again across generations. Each retelling may add emphasis, remove some nuance, or reshape details to make the story more meaningful, entertaining, or acceptable. Over time, the story can drift from the original event, becoming more symbolic than factual. Lore often sounds polished and confident and unquestioned. Yeah, you can sometimes tell the difference when somebody's telling a story that they have lived and experienced, or something that's been passed down over the years and has been embellished. And just think of Chinese whispers. When you start at one end, they whisper one thing into your ear, but by the time you get around the circle, the sentence has completely changed. Where did it change? Why did it change? It's all based on how people hear things. Love reflects values and emotional needs. Family lore tells us less about what happened and more about what the family needed to believe. It often highlights bravery, resilience, success, or sacrifice, especially during difficult periods. So think about those that have been through a natural disaster like an earthquake, tornadoes, hurricanes, those sorts of things, or those that have been in war and actually faced battle, not just those sitting back behind the lines and stuff. You want those that have actually faced battle. Although those that are sitting back in the office do get their emotional, they do get affected by what's going on there because they may not be at home with their families. They could be overseas and they're missing their families and they're in the middle of this war zone. Running from religious or political persecution, seeking asylum. Those all are difficult periods that people have had. And so when you're telling family lore, it's more about what the family needed to believe. Lore can protect family identity, soften painful truths, or reinforce shared values. Even when not factually accurate, it reveals emotional truth. Stories are tested alongside records. Family stories benefit from being compared with historical records and context. Records help confirm, challenge, or clarify details, but they do not automatically replace stories. Instead, they sit beside them. When stories and records align, confidence grows. When they differ, the contrast often reveals deeper insight into memory, perspective, or omission. And when you get those documents and stuff alongside the story, the records can help confirm what happened. They're through newspaper articles, it could be through journal entries, it could be through land deed records, it could be on census reports. There's a whole slew of records out there that you can have access to that will help tell what actually happened. Both belong when clearly distinguished. Family history is strongest when stories and lore are both preserved but clearly labeled. A remembered story, a documented fact, and an uncertain tradition can all coexist as long as they are not confused with one another. Clarity protects accuracy while still honoring the emotional and cultural value of family narratives. So this can often, and why all this matters is because often confusing lore with fact can distort family history. Lore is lore, stories are stories, and then you've got the facts in there, and you put the three of them together side by side can help strengthen that storyline for you. Your practical takeaway today is label stories clearly as remembered, documented, or uncertain. And if you want help sorting stories from law, send us a private message and we can set up a free, no obligation discovery call with you to help get you on the path. And in closing, understanding meaning matters as much as accuracy. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konara.